All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music and real music related stuff and doing it in real time for a few real people out there, just like you and just like me. Yeah, a few real people. Like I'm in that revenue free fall thing again. Um, Folks, this channel is being suppressed. Okay, there's no question about that. With 74,000 subscribers. And now, by the way, I was getting a lot of new subscribers, but that has dried up as well. So we're going to be in that 74K range, I'm sure, for quite some time. And, you know, I don't know what else I can do about this. I've been doing this for 7+ years. People say, you know, maybe you should do something else with your time. This is the new critique. Well, stop begging for money and go out and do something else with your life. Yeah. You know, I've invested a lot of time. It's like a business. You put in work every single day, which I do. So I'm asking the people who watch, all right? And there are many of you who watch this. You could probably do $1 a month or $2 a month. I understand why people don't do that. They hear it and they're like, oh crap, again with the money. I understand. But what I'm saying is if you like the content, because, you know, the landlord isn't going to you know, be paying me anymore the way they used to. I mean, they'll pay me some, but, you know, you get used to a certain level of income. Imagine you're in this job and you're used to getting a certain amount of money, and then all of a sudden, without explanation, they just take away half of your income, because that's really what's happened since the beginning of this year. Now, it went back up a little bit because I had Eric Clapton on the show. I can't have Eric on every other day to boost revenue. It would be nice, and it wouldn't be fair to him, and it wouldn't be as exclusive and interesting and thought-provoking if he was on all the time. So, again, it kind of defeats the purpose of having him on. But, you know, I wish I could get better interviews and celebrities. Because of my viewpoints, you know, I've heard that people would like to come on, but they just won't because I tend to be political. In fact, this video is going to be about how there are 2 rock stars that I found who support Israel, whereas it seemed the collective rock world supported Ukraine. I found 2 that seem to support Israel. One of them, David Draymond, who I mentioned in a video yesterday. He's the lead singer for the band Disturbed. He's also Jewish, and I believe he's originally from Israel. So that kind of makes sense, right? And the other guy is Michael Sweet from the band Striper. Yeah, Michael Sweet said some interesting stuff on Facebook, basically reposting a meme about why Israel matters and quoting a lot of scripture, Genesis 12:3, Psalm 121:4, Zechariah 2:8, which I read yesterday, which is kind of a weird coincidence how that worked out. And so, yeah, Michael Sweet saying the stuff that other rock stars won't say. And either you have to have a hardcore Christian faith or a hardcore Jewish faith, maybe, to care about Israel. What's going on in Israel right now is crazy. And what's going on via the college campuses around this country is frightening. It's frightening. And I'm not saying people don't have the right to free speech, but the uninformed or the ill-informed or the misinformed seem to have the loudest voices, and they seem to get the most attention. And my complaint with the rock community is, okay, you're all in on Ukraine, right? Everybody's supposed to give their money to Ukraine, a very corrupt country. And of course, you know, you can look at Russia and say, well, there's a lot of corruption in Russia too. In Russia, they were the ones that invaded Ukraine. You can make some arguments as to why you would support Ukraine, but there are rumors. This is, again, more rumors and speculation that a lot of the weapons and a lot of the financing that we send there tends to go to other people, or it could even be on the black market. And who's getting this stuff? Well, people who are now attacking Israel. So, there's a lot of blame to go around, and it's very confusing. And people would rather me just talk about the latest album by so-and-so, which still I'm not getting much traction when I do just strict music-related content. I'm trying to push every button on the elevator to see if I can go to a floor that takes me up instead of down or staying on the same floor. That's what's happening with this channel. So I'm grateful for the people who are here. I want to make that perfectly clear. If you're on YouTube and you've signed up for a membership and I haven't thanked you personally, I do care about each person that does that. That means a lot to me, because you're not over on Patreon. You're just, anonymously supporting the channel, which is very nice and is gratifying. Keep in mind, some of that support doesn't go directly to me. It goes to my boss, which is this platform. So that's something to keep in mind. Everything is skimmed. Everything is like, hey, we get our cut and then you'll get your cut later. It used to be great at the beginning of doing this, and there was no suppressive algorithm, and it was really a joyful experience to wake up and do videos each day. Now I'm like, what video are people going to watch? And I need to get the most bang for my buck. And I've told people there are certain things I can't talk about because it's not going to get me any views. And, a lot of patrons will give me topics and I'll say, yeah, I'd love to talk about that. But last time I did that, I got like 700 views, and I need to get thousands of views per video, or this becomes like a hobby. And look, as much as I'd like to just do it as a hobby, this has become my main source of income over the last 7 years. And like I said at the beginning, the boss was paying me pretty well, and then the boss cut my pay 50%. And I've speculated as to why that's happened. Other YouTubers have their own theories. YouTube, I think, is making this decision that, I can just beg people to make up for what they're not doing. And you can't. Number one, because people run into hard times. They run into difficult circumstances, and they're like, yeah, I can't keep giving this guy $2 a month. That's just ridiculous. And he's the last priority I have. I really enjoyed a couple of his videos, but, got to put food on the table. I mean, everything has so increased as far as, your electricity and your gas prices and food prices, and it's depressing. And I understand. I've thanked people for just $1 a month, $2 a month, and we have conversations, and I try to keep up with all those conversations. I will say this, that if you have a good idea for something and you're on Patreon and you want to send it to me, please do. Or if you have a link to an article, keep in mind, not every article is going to get me any traction. It's got to be something that would interest a lot of people, where they would say, oh, that's kind of a big deal. That's like a bombshell breaking news kind of thing. There's all kinds of news in the rock media each day, and it's boring as hell. It just is. Most of it, someone has got a house for sale and they're selling it. Gene Simmons is selling his mansion. Wow, that's a really busy news day. But this is what poses now for classic rock or vintage rock or old school music news today. And no offense, I really don't care about what Britney Spears is doing. I don't really care about pop stars. Taylor Swift. It's not my thing. It's not my wheelhouse. And I don't think people on here really want to hear about Taylor Swift. So I've had to make certain decisions based on what people expect from this channel. The content has been shifting a little bit away from the same things all the time, and I try to, change it up a little bit. You're still going to hear some of those older band stories that I've been covering for years, whether it's Styx or Journey or Foreigner. Any of those stories I'm still going to talk about, but in general, on any given day, it's kind of like spinning the wheel, and I don't know where it's going to land. So anyway, folks, a lot of rambling in this video. I'm thankful that Michael Sweet and David Draymond are at least kind of on board with recognizing truth and reality out there. There are a lot of people pushing against this narrative, and I'm not telling you to send money or anything. I wouldn't do that to certain countries. The United States sends billions of dollars in aid to different countries each year, and it's embarrassing because we have really bad infrastructure here in the country. We've got homeless veterans out on the street. So I would say no foreign aid until we fix our own problems. That's what I would say. That's my libertarian view on that. But in this situation, where there is terror, which is at the level of what happened to us on 9/11, and it is based on the pictures, and people say some of these pictures are faked, or it's a deep fake, or it's just AI, and I'm like, I don't know. I've watched a lot of coverage, and I'm seeing a lot of sorrow in the faces of just the general population in Israel. So you should pray for Israel at the very least. Even if you're not on board with the theology that Michael Sweet explained, you should really think about praying for Israel. Pray for everybody. Pray for the Palestinians. Pray for these crazy people that somehow their minds would get changed and they wouldn't do what they're doing. And, pray for economic circumstances that lives would improve and change over there. Because it's tough all over the planet, and apparently, according to the Bible, it's probably only going to get worse. So anyway, folks, thanks for watching and for supporting me. I have these days where I get a little bummed out at everything, and it gets harder and harder to function in this happy-go-lucky sort of making fun of things, doing impersonations. I know people enjoy some of my voices, even though they're horrible for the most part. But if I'm in a mood and I can put on that character a little bit, I try to, in any event, folks, thanks again. God bless everyone, and I will talk to you soon.